back to another episode of Clark Reviews. It's your boy Donovan. So I'm a little late on this, but better late than never. I feel like every video I do, I'm like, hey, I'm late on this. But last weekend I went and seen It Chapter 2. It's been out for 2 weekends now. So there's going to be spoilers in this video. My bad. If you haven't seen it, turn away now. My review videos don't get a lot of love anyway, so I don't think about maybe a handful of people are going to watch this. But oh well, I don't do it for that. So, It Chapter 2 takes place 27 years after It Chapter 1, as you probably heard from the advertisements and the trailers. This movie is probably about an hour longer than the other one. This movie is a legit, probably 3 hours long. Takes place with a hate crime that kind of reignites Pennywise's revival in Derry. Then the black dude surprisingly stayed around to try to fight it if he returns. That's crazy to me. And he calls the group back. One of the losers ends up killing himself because he don't think he's strong enough to fight Pennywise because he's scared. But they all return. They fight it and defeat him. Alright guys, thanks for watching my review. I'll play. But that's really it, man. This movie, I watched it. It was 3 hours long. It didn't feel 3 hours long. I don't know if I can watch the whole thing again. I might have to skip through a few parts that kind of work because I was watching it. It was really, some of the scenes were really dark. But I wasn't a huge fan of It Chapter 1. So by default, I knew I wasn't going to be a huge fan of It Chapter 2. I do like how it did kind of took the time to explain each loser's point of view, past and current experiences with it, right? I did like that. They kind of skimmed through his origin about how, he got the earth and there was like some Indian Native American tribe that stored him away and locked him away. But it's not scary. It has a few kind of nasty parts that just kind of make you cringe a little bit, like, ew. It's not scary to me. The first one wasn't scary. It's a little bit more goofy. The first one was than this one. This one, with being adults, is, I guess they're both rated R. But I think they maybe take another step towards that R rating since there's adults in it, with the language, and there's a giant, naked, old, creepy grandma, right? Or old lady, I don't know if she's a grandma. But yeah, man, I don't know if I would watch it. I don't know if I would watch it in its entirety again. Like, dude, I like Stephen King. Dude, I like scary movies. I might be scared of clowns. Might get a bigger kick out of it, but I mean, it had some silly parts, like dude got stabbed in the face and he barely even bled, like the knife was stuck in his face. There was another one to where, like, so you know how the little fat kid, he grows up to be a handsome dude, Paul's no homo, and he goes after Jessica Chastain's character, which was the younger version. He had a crush on her, but she didn't know, and he wrote that poem for her, Your Hair is Winter Fire. And then when it's messing him up, he screams out, I love you. Like, you love her? You ain't seen her for 27 years, but you love her? And they end up kissing at the end. That felt forced. When they defeated it, they was trying to make him shrink back down to his original size, and the black dude was like, there's more than one way to make somebody feel small. So they start, capping on it, right? And it makes him shrink back down. It makes him feel little because they're not scared of him. I thought that was a little forced. Like, you could have led up to that more. Or Jessica Chastain's character was looking at James McAvoy's character the whole time because she thought he wrote the poem. They could have led up to that more with them interacting and like, hey, I was the one that wrote it. I always had these feelings. And she can go, well, I kind of like your little fat ass too. Something like that. You know what I mean? But they just kind of like jumped into that, and they jumped in and defeated him at the end. Like, granted, it was 3 hours long, but I felt like they should have taken longer to figure that part out. But I mean, I don't know. They're talking about doing a part 3 already. Maybe being a prequel to how it got to Earth, and maybe a different time period about what he did leading up to Derry. I actually seen an interview with the director who said there was actually 4 hours material. He cut out an hour of it, and he's actually planning on shooting more scenes, and he wants to do a supercut. So he wants like a 7 hour long movie, if not longer, of the It story. My nigga, as great as that sounds, that's too long for this movie. You know, a supercut. The only thing I want to see a supercut for is Infinity War and Avengers Endgame. That's the only thing I want to see a supercut for. I don't need a supercut for it. As great as that sounds, like I wish some movies would do that in terms of sequels when they connect so tightly as these two. But I don't know if I want to see 7+ hour long. That's a whole work day watching it. You know what I'm saying? It ain't that good. I know it's selling a lot of box office, but it ain't that. I mean, it ain't all that. You know what I mean? Like, the character's creepy, but the movie, few parts felt rushed. Like I said, I enjoyed seeing how flashbacks, and then with the adults, they each get, you know, their experience with it, and then they come together. The trippy part when James McAvoy, when the black dude trying to make him see what happened, that was kind of silly. I thought that was really silly. And then, like they said, and they kind of touched on it a little bit, like, if you moved away and they started forgetting when they moved away, who gives a shit? Like, you don't owe anything to go back and try to kill the monster. Like, I'd have just kept my black ass away. You know what I mean? I'd have moved away. But plot details, storytelling, that's what it is. So I will give it a solid, I'll give it a B. I'll give it a B because it wasn't a terrible movie. Just maybe it's because I'm grown. You know, it wasn't like creepy. It can be more. It wasn't scary. Like as an adult, you can be like creeped out by something. I really wasn't either. You know what I mean? Kids might take your kids and see it. They might freak out, but I don't know. If you've seen it or you appreciate my quick sublime review, let me know in the comment section down below. While you're here, like, share, and subscribe to your boy's channel. If I get a notification that you subscribe to me, I'll subscribe back to you. Until next time, y'all take it easy. Game recognized game. Peace.